I think The Eternals was a seriously underrated movie.
What did he say?
At least it didn't get the hate it deserves. Makkari, it's an underrated card. Let's take a deep dive into Makkari and figure out if it's worth it or not in this installment of
Is it worth it?
What's going on, nerds? First things first, Makkari is a 3 energy 4 power card that reads, after the turn, runs from your hand to a random location, if possible. So just to clarify, runs, I think is just a cute way of saying plays herself. Overall impressions of Makkari, I think, like I said earlier, it's a little underrated. People are giving her more shit than I think it deserves. But a couple of things are perfectly clear, and we'll go into deeper here in a second. But 1, free power is never bad. And 2, this is probably the easiest card to play in the history of card games. I mean, you literally do nothing, so that's gotta be good, right? All right, on to the good and the bad of Makkari. First thing first, it's free power. In almost every card game that's ever existed, free power is usually very, very good. But in Snap, it's probably the weakest as compared to, say, like Magic or Dragon Ball Fusion or other card games. But still, a free 4 power is nothing to sneeze at. You know, I don't know why people say nothing to sneeze at. How does that make any sense? Why would you sneeze at something if you don't respect it? I guess that kind of makes sense, but what the hell is that saying? I don't know. Anyways, moving on. All right, the second good part about Makkari is you can put this card in literally any deck in the game, and it wouldn't be the worst decision ever. I can only think of like one deck where technically 2 decks where you wouldn't want to put Makkari in just straight up at all for any reason. And that's Cerebro 2 and 3 and Galactus. But other than that, I think you could make an argument for a free 4 power being decent in literally anything. Yeah, there's some decks you wouldn't want to put it in, like Destroy, because the deck is so tight, it doesn't really have spaces to be put in. But a lot of the decks out there have 1 or 2 flex cards, usually for tech, something like Shang or Rogue or Red Guardian. And if you wanted to, you could put Makkari in there, and it would probably work out just fine. Third good aspect, it's easy to use. I mean, do I need to say anything more? You don't do anything, and it plays itself. You get 4 power, you put it in your deck, you get 4 power. Congratulations, you're a card gamer now. Moving on. All right, the bad. The first thing here is it's not really the biggest impact in the world. I mean, 4 power is like good when you're talking about like 1 drops or 2 drops with an effect. But it's just, you know, a Makkari slams on the board. The opponent's never really going to be like, oh shit, I'm screwed now. You know, it's not like Professor X, dulled Professor X, or Annihilus or Cersei or anything like that. But still, a free 4 power jumper on the board. I mean, it does pressure a lane, and it might flip lanes, but you get my point. 4 power is not gonna it's not gonna blow anyone out of the water. It's not gonna swing games for you. Well, maybe it will. But anyways, you get my point. All right, and the second bad part, which is probably the worst part of this card, and the reason most people are disregarding it, is you have no control over where it goes. I suppose you can like fill up lanes on purpose to make Makkari go into a specific lane, but that seems like a lot of work for not really much return. But yeah, I think that's honestly the biggest reason why people aren't respecting this card. It's just, it goes where it goes. You can't do anything about it really, and it's a little bit of a bummer. All right, on to a potential deck list for Makkari. So here, the idea is that this card basically is the deck that utilizes free power as much as any other deck in the game. Wolverine is free power when you discard it. Proxima Midnight is free power. The Swarms are free power. Morbius and Meat getting bigger are free power just from a byproduct of you playing the cards in your deck. But yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty cool here. Your Wolverine is a free 4 power, you got Makkari that's a free 4 power, you got Proxima Midnight that's flipping onto the board for free. Yes, you're not gonna be able to control a lot of where your power goes, but since you have like Swarm and Dracula, Morbius and Meek to fill up the rest of the lanes and to put big power onto the board, I think Makkari is gonna be super cute here. And if I pick up the card, I probably will, just because I have most cards anyway. This is where I'm gonna try her out first. All right, on to my recommendation on whether or not you should get Makkari. So it basically boils down to, for tokens, no. Unless you got like 30k tokens sitting around and you're just like, whatever, it's not gonna bother me at all to spend tokens on Makkari, then sure, pick it up. Who am I to tell you what to do with your surplus of tokens, you rich bastard? But If you're not that person, like me and most other people, don't spend tokens on Makkari. But then again, there's spotlight keys and caches to open for Makkari, and Gladiator and X23 are great cards. If you like playing Destroy It All, you have to have X23. It's just a core piece of the deck now. Gladiator is a card that goes in a lot of different decks. Really, any deck can utilize Gladiator to some, any deck that's like, I wonder what I should put for the 3-drop. You're not really doing anything specific. It's just a good card stack, junk, whatever. You can play Gladiator. Gladiator's a solid card. X23, a central card. So if you don't have either of those, I say open them up because you'll get Makkari and a really good card that you probably need for your collection. Go for it. Also, look at those variants. That Gladiator and X23 variant are the best variants for those 2 cards in the game. That's my opinion, at least. But anyways, so I'm going to be stoked to get either of those variants and Makkari anyways. But yeah, that's my recommendation. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. Just as a quick note for the channel, I just haven't put out any deck videos in the past week or 2 because I don't like putting out deck videos unless there's something that I can truly recommend people play that watch my channel. I'm not just gonna put out like some funny meme deck and be like, oh, check this out. Or I'm not gonna lie about a deck and be like, this deck is super awesome. I just don't do that stuff. So unless I find a deck that is like inspiring or is a little off meta or is just really super duper good, I don't put out deck videos. And for the past 2 weeks, it feels like most decks are pretty well covered by the other content creators. So I took a little bit of a break. But with Makkari, I'll probably be putting out a deck because I don't think many people are gonna get her. But I will. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you next video. Later, nerds.